Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. Today we're going to be talking about winter coats, and we'd like to thank Zhao Jin for giving us a 5-star rating and review on Amazon for our Book 4. And you can download Book 4. It's called Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon. In the 1930s, Eddie Bauer almost died of hypothermia during a winter fishing trip.
Eddie Bauer?
Eddie Bauer, yeah.
Like the Eddie Bauer?
The Eddie Bauer. And so he decided after this experience to make a great winter coat.
That makes sense.
He used goose down and created the first down-filled quilted winter jacket in the U.S. in 1940. And the U.S. Air Corps was so impressed with the jacket that they commissioned him to develop the B-9 flight jacket so pilots could keep warm at high altitude.
That's good.
Did you know that some historians think that President Thomas Jefferson invented the wooden clothes hanger?
Why would I know that?
When you're shopping for a winter coat, you want to pick one
and you should be, because it's like 5 degrees out today.
Chicago. You want to pick one based on your weather conditions and your activities that you'll be doing outside. Technical jackets or coats are designed for...
What's the difference between a jacket and a coat?
So jackets are usually waist length, where a coat or a parka is going to be longer.
What's a parka?
A coat longer than a jacket. So technical jackets are designed for specific activities like skiing, snowboarding, ice climbing, or hiking, and they're going to have features for gear that you'll be using. So if you're wearing a helmet, you're going to have a specialized hood that's going to fit over this and be adjustable, or they'll be adapted for climbing harnesses. They're going to have comfort features like ventilation. They're going to be lightweight. They're going to be packable. Casual coats are designed for warmth, comfort, and style. They're going to have larger hoods. They might have hand warmer pockets, great insulation. And then with work coats, they're going to have features like very tough exteriors, specialized stitching and pleats for arm movement, plenty of pockets for tools and parts. So you're picking something based on your activity, and then with the insulation in mind, what is your weather in your area? So if you're in an area that gets wet snow or rain primarily in winter, you want a waterproof shell, so the outside layer of your jacket. And many of the waterproof jackets aren't as breathable, which isn't a problem if you're not working up a sweat. But if you plan on using your jacket for working outside or sports, you want something waterproof and breathable. And if you're primarily in an area that gets light snow and cold weather, a water-resistant outer shell generally is going to be more breathable. But the key thing you're looking for on the label when you're shopping is it says breathable.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new technology in the outer shell of winter jackets for water resistance and breathability. Gore-Tex was one of the first waterproof breathable fabrics. In 1969, Bob Gore was experimenting with polytetrafluoroethylene.
What?
So PTFE,
Oh.
Teflon. And he found that when it was heated and stretched, it formed billions of micropores.
Billions?
Which are 20,000 times smaller than the size of a water drop, but they're 700 times bigger than water vapor. So there's a lot of science behind why it works, but it basically is blocking water that lands on it on the outside. It causes it to bead up and roll off the material, while perspiration vapor is pulled up and out of it. Pretty amazing. In 1976, Gore received his first order for the Gore-Tex fabric, the first waterproof, windproof, breathable fabric. In 1979, Gore developed Gore seam tape to waterproof the stitching on his clothing.
Okay.
And then in 1981, NASA used Gore-Tex for spacesuits. There's a lot of different waterproof, breathable fabrics now, and many of them are going to be marked WP/BR when you look at the label. And these are repelling water but allowing perspiration to escape. Many of these are...
What does BR stand for?
Breathable. So WP, waterproof.
Well, I got that.
BR, breathable. And many of these are using a form of ePTFE. So it's a small e and a capital PTFE, which stands for expanded polytetrafluoroethylene. So,
you just love saying that, don't you?
And it can be blended or laminated to other materials as the shell or the membrane of a laminate. And the laminates are going to have a top material, so this is going to be the outside layer of the jacket. Under that is ePTFE, or a similar waterproof breathable material as the membrane Then under that is the fabric or the insulation. And in many of these waterproof jackets, the top layer of the laminate is going to be treated with a durable water repellent, or you're going to see DWR. And the DWR keeps the top material dry, and it's breathable, so it works with the membrane, so vapors can come up through it, but water can't penetrate it. So what I didn't realize about these new laminates or these new breathable waterproof fabrics is you need to keep them clean. A lot of these manufacturers are recommending that you clean them a couple times a year.
With what?
So you should check the cleaning routine suggested by the manufacturer. Some of them recommend a specific product, probably their own brand.
Right.
But many of them, well, in fact, some of the top-rated cleaners for technical winter jackets with these waterproof breathable materials is Granger's Performance Wash, Revive X, it's REVIVE, and then a capital X, or Nikwax Tech, it's NIKWAX, capital TECH. And this is going to clean any body oils or debris that gets into these micropores so that it's able to breathe.
So you're just cleaning the outside with this cleaner?
No, you're cleaning the whole jacket, and it's
like the inside too?
Absolutely, yeah. You're putting it in a machine. So in fact,
so you're like washing it?
Right, yeah, washing it.
I thought you were just like wiping it down.
No, so here's the instructions for Gore-Tex jackets. They're recommending first check the label for any special instructions, then zip up all the openings, your jacket front.
Zip up?
Right, so you're closing up your jacket front, the pockets, the armpit.
So you're zipping?
What did I say?
Zip up.
Zip them up. Armpit vents, flaps, anywhere you have zippers, you want them closed. You want to turn it inside out to reduce any wear on the outside and protect the colors. Use a technical jacket cleaner or a liquid detergent, never a powder. Never use a softener or put dryer sheets, when you're drying it. Never use.
You could dry these?
Yeah, and what's unique about that, and no bleach either. So they want you to use warm water on a low spin, rinse it twice, then let it hang dry first. Once it's dry, then you put it in the dryer on medium heat for 20 minutes, and that's going to reactivate the DWR. Amazing, huh? Mm-hmm. And twice a year. And if your jacket has a DWR coating and water is soaking into the outside material rather than beating up, you should clean it, then use a DWR wash-in formula or a DWR spray on the outer shell. Mm-hmm. Some of the top-rated sprays are from Nikwax, it's NIKWAX, Gear Aid, GEAR, capital AID, and Revivex, REVIVEX. And take a look at what's recommended for the cleaning, because like with Gore-Tex, they recommend putting it in the dryer after it air dries, but some of the DWR formulas don't recommend it, so make sure you read your label.
Okay.
And if you have Gore-Tex or other Teflon-based WPBR materials, so anything that's PTFE, you don't want to spray DEET on it.
This is a lot of letters.
Yeah. And there are a lot of different types of the WPBR materials and laminates. Some use polyurethane films that are specially blended. One is membrane that's highly rated. It's MEM, capital BRAIN. There's polyester blends like Sympatex. It's SYMPATEX. Some other top rated are eVent. It's a small e, capital VENT. Strata, Polartec. It's Polar, TEC. Neoshell, Pertex, it's PERTEX. Outdry, this is a one-piece construction. Dry Q Elite, so it's DRY.Q Elite, ELITE. And the best is H2NO.
Uh-huh.
If you see coats with hydrophobic nanotechnology, the fabric is going to be waterproof or water resistant, and it's also going to repel dirt, oil, and sweat. And these can usually be washed 20 to 40 times before it loses its ability to shed water. Then you're going to have to treat it. Did you know that hydrophobia is an intense, irrational fear of water? And if left untreated, some people suffer from a fear of taking a shower or a bath.
Wow, I hope they don't have a fear of deodorant.
A company called Fjallraven, it's spelled FJALLRAVEN, has a fabric made out of densely woven polyester and cotton. They treat it with Greenland wax, and it makes it water resistant, windproof, and breathable. It's very durable, and it's UV resistant. Interesting, huh? Vormy has winter jackets that use merino wool and synthetic fibers for
So
their
you're not going to spell that?
Vormy, Voormi. They have merino wool and synthetic outer shells treated with DWR, and they have a waterproof membrane. Some companies like Carhartt, Carhartt, they use heavy-duty, very durable cotton and cotton blends to create this outer shell of their winter jackets. And they're great if you're in an area that doesn't have real rainy winters. Some of them are treated with a DWR. You can spray them with a DWR. And cotton duck is a tightly woven fabric. It comes from the Dutch word duck for canvas. Once it was used for sailors' clothing and sails for boats. And duct tape was originally made with cotton duck backing.
Okay, I'm not as excited about it as you are.
Brown duck fabric was created in the 1920s by Hamilton Carhartt for his duck bib overalls. If you're doing outdoor activities like skiing or cycling, or if you're going to be in windy conditions like rock climbing, you want an exterior that's windproof. It's going to keep you much warmer. And when you're shopping and comparing the insulation of coats, it's primarily going to be down or synthetic. Down is the fluffy, fuzzy, small feathers that form a layer against the skin of a duck or a goose. And it's not like the regular feathers with a hard quill. Down looks like little clumps of fuzz, and each clump is going to have thousands of crisscrossing fibers with air pockets that trap air and heat. It's very lightweight, and it keeps its loft. So they call it loft, L-O-F-T. So that's another word for fluffy. And it's going to stay fluffy for up to 3 times longer than most synthetics. Down is also considered one of the best insulators, and you can compress it for storage. It'll expand when unpacked. One of the disadvantages of down, though, it doesn't perform well when it's wet from rain, or if you're sweating. It'll clump up and lose its insulating qualities. You can get jackets with hydrophobic down. So this is down treated with a DWR, and it's going to help retain its loft, and it's going to dry quicker. When you're shopping for down, you're going to see fill power and fill weight. Fill power is the amount of cubic inches 1 ounce of down fills. So an 800 fill is 1 ounce of down filling 800 cubic inches. So there's a couple different scales, but generally 400 to 450 is considered average, 500 to 550 good, 550 to 750 very good, and over 750 is considered excellent, and the higher the number, the warmer it's going to be.
Okay.
Fill weight is the weight of the amount of down being used, so you're looking for the highest fill power with the highest fill weight to get the warmest jacket. And you may also see down to feather ratio, and you'll see a number like 70-30 or 80-20 or 90-10. The first number is the amount of down, the second number the amount of feathers, and the higher the first number for down, the warmer it's going to be. And having a lot of feathers can be really annoying if they poke through the material. Jackets that have the RDS certification, its responsible down standard, only use down from ducks or geese that have been treated humanely, and any removal of down or feathers from live birds isn't allowed. Force feeding isn't allowed, and it's verified by third-party professionals. Live feather plucking, it's illegal in the U.S., Canada, and Europe, but many countries still pluck the feathers and down repeatedly from live birds. So it causes trauma to their bodies. Many die from the process. It's pretty brutal. Birds that are force-fed for foie gras aren't allowed to be used in RDS-certified coats either.
Why?
So foie gras, they fatten the liver of the duck by force-feeding them food. And it was discovered in ancient Egypt, so about 2,500 years ago. And Pliny the Elder wrote about Romans force-feeding geese dried figs to make them a delicacy. Craziness, huh? Synthetic insulations come in a wide range of materials, blends, and insulating qualities. And most synthetics can get damp and still insulate well. Plus, they're generally going to dry faster. Insulation that's marked breathable is going to help wick sweat off your body and up through a WPBR membrane. Some top-rated breathable synthetics are Ventrix from North Face, Nano Air from Patagonia, and Polartec Alpha is used by a few different companies. Coats that use Thinsulate have some of the thinnest insulations. One coat from Duluth is rated at -15 degrees Fahrenheit, and Thinsulate is rated very high for its warmth compared to the thickness. Some other top-rated insulations, Thermal R, it's thermal with just the letter R, Omni-Heat, Core Loft, and Thermal Ball. And when you see these unique branded names, there is a lot of research and technology put into them, and these are going to be your more advanced insulations. Jackets with fleece lining are usually made out of polyester, but fleece could be a blend of material like cotton, wool, or rayon. If you see eco-friendly labeled fleece, it's made out of recycled synthetic fleece or even plastic bottles. And it is amazing how soft some of these linings are, and they're plastic bottles, potentially. If you see pile fabric or pile lined, it's the same type of insulation. It's woven to look like the fuzzy wool of sheep or goats. Hybrid insulation generally means there's a couple of different types or styles of insulation on the jacket.
Right.
You might have fleece in one area and then a different type of insulation on the sleeves. Military jackets for the pilots of the A-2 and the B-2 bombers were made of horsehide leather, goat skin, or cowhide, and they had real sheep fleece lining for insulation, and that kept the pilots warm at high altitude. And the Overland Company at overland.com still makes sheepskin bomber jackets. And if you're interested in buying a leather jacket, their website actually has a nice buying guide for leather and a glossary of terms.
Nice.
That's kind of interesting. Some companies are going to rate their coats and the insulation so you can match it to your climate. Carhartt, for example, has 3 different categories. So in their warm rated, they've got thermal lining, which is a polyester weave. They have fleece, which is a fluffier polyester. A step up, their warmer is going to be a blanket lining, a nylon quilt, or a Sherpa lining. And then their warmest is either a quilt flannel or an Arctic grade.
Okay.
So you can kind of shop based on where you'll be using it.
Okay.
There's an interesting insulation from 37.5 Technology, and on some labels you're going to see Cocona. It's C-O-C-O-N-A. They use activated charcoal from coconut husks, volcanic sand, and they blend this with recycled polyester. It retains heat, it dries fast if it gets wet, it's breathable, it resists odor, and it has a higher warmth to weight ratio than most synthetics. And Carhartt is using it on their Force Extremes clothing embedded into the yarn they use. It's capturing the infrared energy from your body to speed evaporation if you're sweating, or it maintains the heat if you're dry. It's wild, the technology that there is in yarn now. There's also milkweed insulation.
What's that?
So milkweed grows a pod that opens up and releases these fluffy, down-looking balls that have hair-like filaments called floss.
So wait, it's a plant?
It's a plant that opens up and it releases these seeds that get picked up by the wind and, spread more plants. But the floss is hollow. It's coated with a wax that makes it a great water-resistant insulator. It has loft like down. It springs back to its original shape. And in the 1800s, milkweed floss was used to fill mattresses, comforters, and pillows. Thomas Edison tried to utilize the latex in milkweed. It was used in World War II as filling for life jackets. And there was a study done by the University of Nebraska, and it showed that when milkweed is mixed with synthetic or down insulation, it increases its insulating ability. So beside the shell and the insulation, you should also compare the features. Hoods, for example, if you do activities that require a helmet, you should get a large hood that's designed for helmets. It's going to have multiple adjustments so you get a comfortable fit. And if you don't want to wear a hood, or you don't wear it often, but you want one for heavy or wet snow, you should look for a coat that has a removable hood, or it's going to fold up flat into a pocket, or you can either use a pocket on the jacket itself, or some of them have a pocket on the back that it folds up into.
You should see how they're attached to. Some are either buttons or zippers for the hoods.
Right.
I've had both, and I've lost quite a few buttons.
Right. And the button ones too, sometimes the air is going to go through that, where a zipper is going to block the air. For skiing and climbing, a hood with storm flaps to cover the zipper is actually going to hold out more wind and snow. It's going to keep you warmer. And then how does the hood and the collar integrate? Is it going to be comfortable to see or comfortable around your neck? And then some have stiff edges for better vision. So it's good to try them out if you're comparing a few different jackets.
Right.
You should compare the pockets. You can get hand warmer pockets, and these are lined so you can warm your hands up. Some are going to be at chest level or waist level. Some have both, so you should see what's comfortable for you. Jackets with the large pockets with a flap over it for hats or gloves and hand pockets alongside it are going to be very versatile. The zippered chest pockets are great for your phone or pen or keys. And a variety of inside pockets are very handy. Some have headphone channels. And then some jackets have security pockets. They're hidden under the seams so you can hide money and keys.
Nice. We should check the size of the pockets too. Will all of your stuff fit in it?
Right. Yeah. If you have very thick gloves or hats.
Right.
You know,
I've lost many gloves because my pockets were too small.
All right. You should analyze the cuffs and how well they seal out drafts, especially if you're in a cold climate or you're doing a lot of outdoor activities. It can either be Velcro or string ties or elastic, and some are going to work better with different types of gloves. You should also look for sealed seams and tape seams. It's going to keep you warmer. For windy or wet conditions, the zippers with these weather flaps that cover them are going to keep you warmer. And then look at the drawstrings at waist level. If you're in an area that's very cold, you can cinch these up and it's going to help block air from getting under the jacket. It's going to keep you warmer.
Okay.
3-in-1 jackets have a zip-out inner lining that can be worn as a standalone jacket, and that outside is usually waterproof or water-resistant, and you can wear that by itself to block wind and wet conditions or cool conditions. You can wear the inner lining alone on cool or cold days, and then wear both together, zip together, on very cold days, and they're becoming a lot more popular.
Interesting.
For cold weather work jackets, you want something that's going to be very durable and give you mobility. A couple of the top rated come from Carhartt and Duluth, and the Crowley jacket from Carhartt, it's nylon, it has spandex for flexibility, it's windproof, it's water resistant, it has adjustable cuffs, it has a drawstring at the waist, and they say it's the closest thing to wearing an armadillo.
Do you want to wear an armadillo?
Evidently. I spoke to Duluth Trading and asked them what features you should be looking for in a work jacket, and they gave me 2 of their top-rated jackets with professionals. Their Fire Hose Superior work jacket has a canvas exterior. It's treated with a water and stain repellent. It has Thinsulate insulation, very large pleats on the back so your arm movement isn't restricted. There's armpit gussets for mobility, cell phone pockets, a pencil pocket, hand warmer pockets, and a drop tail that blocks wind when you bend over or crouch down. And it has elastic knitted into the cuffs, and that's going to block drafts.
Nice.
Another jacket they recommended is the Whaleback waterproof jacket for wet and cold weather. So this is made of a waterproof, windproof nylon with a breathable membrane. It has Thinsulate, and it's rated to -15 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
It has special wicking panels on the back and the armpits to pull sweat away from your body. Double storm flaps on the zipper to block any rain or snow. Articulated elbows, and it has armpit gussets for good arm movement. Hand warmer pockets, stretch storm cuffs, and an adjustable 3-piece hood. So there are a lot of features you can get in jackets now.
What are some top-rated winter jackets?
Eddie Bauer, Carhartt, Cabela's, Duluth, Dickies, North Face, Helly Hansen, so it's HELLYHANSEN, Block Lauder, BLAKLADER, Timberland, Patagonia, Columbia, LL Bean, Arc'teryx, it's ARCTERYX, pretty cool sounding name, Marmot, MARMOT, Fjallraven, it's FJALLRAVEN, and Triple Fat Goose. And the fat is F.A.T, which stands for Arctic temperatures.
Nice.
You can also get heated work jackets that use a cordless battery to maintain the heat. They're going to have different zones and different temperatures. So Milwaukee, DeWalt, Makita, and Bosch all have their own versions. Some run for like 8 hours at a time.
Wow.
And I read a review from a bike messenger in New York, and he said they're the best.
Do you have anything else to add?
Main thing you want to do is pick a coat for your climate and what you're going to be using it for. Technical jackets are going to give you a lot of different features to choose from, but waterproof, windproof, and breathable is going to be the most versatile.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, the Spotify mobile app, the Google Play Music app, iHeartRadio, and CastBox.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our books, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.